Uh, I, I'll just say over here, like the National Guard installation, they had like regular. They had separated their desktops for those who needed it, but like other places, they would run like thin clients over desktops, just to say, or the slowest computer might be in that particular area, especially like a tool shop. Because if the mechanic, accidentally, slams that computer and cracks it, that computer was close to being on its last legs anyway. But, they're not feeling like putting, a hardened system in there. If someone drops especially National Guard area, if they drop like 20 gajillion pounds of tools on it and break the computer.
Thank you.
Actually, yeah. And I mean, you're right. But the Windows Terminal Services is kind of a good ersatz thing. In the cloud, I've used the Amazon Workspace, which is basically terminal services. And you can use it. You can deploy desktops in your cloud for remote access, and it's kind of like a jump server.
Yeah, I mean the base is they used a few terminal services like for lower end machines like for people to get at stuff like say in the workshops. Plus they wanted to keep them more secure, but like in the main areas like the clinics and like the other areas of the comm flight over there. Yeah, they were using up to date desktops because that's what they hired us poor monkeys for. Was to bake them, put them on a rack, and then go push them out.
Nice.
So, like when everybody kept trying to give me a security job in California, hey, some place in the Bay Area offered me 150K, and it's like, yeah. When I saw the apartments, they're like 5,200 a month, and I'm screaming about mine being. My fiance is whining about mine being 1,600 a month since COVID hit here. Yeah, 1,600 or better yet, I can go get a 3-bedroom house around the corner for about 18.95 a month for rent. So
Nice. Yeah, I was just asking about that. As we're talking about virtualization and the cloud services that are available, obviously the military is not a big fan of the cloud yet. I'm sure that's going to happen, but
oh, the
fear
military
is always their stumbling block.
the military already has an Amazon cloud.
Oh, absolutely. But they just don't let everybody have access to it. Some places have access, some do not. That's why I was asking the question about thin clients, because they're trying to get away from desktop or laptops. I'm not really sure why they went away from laptops, because that allows you to travel. They don't do BYOD or BYO, bring your own device. Yeah, there we go. So I was just
I mean,
trying to look at the other side of the coin.
the other side of the coin is, yes, you could bring your own device. Yes, the military can give you stuff like a YubiKey to make it, as obtuse and you know, like you can get a YubiKey that's biometric. That way you can take biometric. You can plug in a CAC card into the laptop. You can get a Dell that takes a CAC card, but then basically you can open a web browser to get at the secure resources, and then you have to enter your password. You have to push the YubiKey button. You have to have the CAC card inserted. I mean, you could make it as convoluted as possible, but still to where someone could work remotely for a laptop.
Yeah, I agree. I just know that what I've seen is that I work at what is supposed to be the Cyber Center of Excellence, and they are light years behind the rest of society. They still believe that all computers have to be imaged by a guy in an office, where they life cycle computers, and Dell has them locked down to you will use these things. So instead
I
of moving
mean,
forward, we find ourselves standing still. So I'm trying to see
I'm
what else.
saying, I'm just saying, in the civilian world, even if they were to apply the similar controls to it, you've heard of Intune, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you give Dell an Intune number, and they still could have like a secure Azure cloud the DoD uses and still spin up these devices. Basically, if you want to play games on them after 5 o'clock, great. You still can get them re-imaged, or drop the Intune number in them, great. Uh, there's still secure ways of imaging, but the point of it is, like, as far as like virtual desktop, my fiance works for Chase Bank. The bring your own device policy is that, you can use your own stuff. It's just that they're giving you a Citrix terminal.
Understood.
So, like in most newer secure networks, you got a ton of Palo Alto stuff, and first it kicks the device off the network. Hey, we're going to put you over here. We're going to put you over in this tiny little DMZ. We're gonna watch you for a brief second. Antivirus, yay, go, no go. Okay, go. Antivirus up to date, go, no go. Yay, okay. It's actual authentication of the corporate network, go, no go. Okay, great. Here you go. Here's your VPN tunnel into the corporate network. Basically, if you authenticated the virtual desktop environment, go, no go. Then once you do, then boom, you're pretty much up and running. It basically, is like a RDP terminal that takes over your whole entire screen. In the Citrix case, it's pretty much connected to a Windows, 10 or 11 virtual machine that Chase has under full control and full life cycle lockdown and all the other good stuff that Uncle Sam in the military likes to have. The nicety of it is that on a secure cloud environment like that, Edward Snowdens of the world can't, can't drag and drop shit from the virtual desktop to the host.
Nice.
So, all the work or any classified work, even if they have access to classified shit, it still resides on the remote host computer that they have. The laptop is just a means of jumping to said dumb terminal.
Got it.
Or a virtual environment that is provisioned. But as I said, like on the Joint Reserve Base over here, they just, they had like the crappy computer, like because like, let's face it, some of the people wrenching on the Humvees, they're using like a 60 or 80-pound torque spanner, and if you have the latest, greatest USB-C connectors on it, USB-C connectors on a Dell desktop versus a 60, 70-pound spanning wrench, it's not going to go pretty. So basically, they have it set up there, so like if if that computer crashes, they can just drop in another computer and it's off a work cart and plug it in that particular case and then keep going. So it's like they use a few bit older computers in that workshop on purpose, because if the guys break them by using their big heavy tools, it's an accident, they're not out much. Plus, they can just give them a virtual terminal. They just spawn the virtual terminal. Some of the parts that they have also are, shall we say, on the more sensitive side. You have a vehicle that requires secret squirrel parts, then, you need the access to be able to switch from the, open network system to the the confidential network side, or the main network, to the secret squirrel network. So that was the other reason that they did so. But most of the servers there ran off of, basically they had run off iSCSI and like a sand pool. So it was an interesting setup.
Nice.
But yeah, virtualization, that's why a lot of companies are doing, remote desktop or remote workloads. Uh, Even if you're doing it on-prem through cloud and then serving it to the public through a secure gateway or CASB. But like, yes, the DoD has like Amazon. Um, But yes, there's like, there's an authorization cloud that they're starting to spin up. Our good buddies, over at Langley have been using Amazon Cloud so their developers can spin up, new work centers and or Azure or Docker type of workloads. Because that way their developers can spin up stuff or they can migrate stuff on and off cloud or basically, get better bang for their buck out of their supercomputers and whatever else that they've got cooking. But they can have their on-prem Amazon or on-prem Azure and then have all the same benefits as the civilian side, but same token, run all of the civilian style workloads in a, fenced off FedRAMP capable, you know, type of environment that's secure by default. It's not public accessible, but it's basically Amazon, basically getting to build the cloud inside, a secure workload area for the DoD or our good friends at Langley. But yeah,
Nice. Thank you.
I mean, there is change coming, because the DoD wants certain things, but then, they don't want it to be like too exposed. But like DoD and Amazon have been beating each other up for that for years. I mean, uh, there is Amazon. Yeah, there is like FedRAMP, already baked up services for Amazon, to where they'll spin it up, for federally compliant workloads or federal. They'll basically, there's even Amazon to where you can spin up Amazon on your own hardware if you need to be that paranoid. It's like, yep, you can pay a feature, you can run Amazon IoT, you can basically get AMI images, you can have like the Amazon in your own data center, you can get to use their tools, and Amazon will happily sell you services and support and images for your data center, to where you can run, test workloads to where it's using your hardware, but hey, we'll just bill you for the the orchestrator and all the Amazon software goodness. And we'll charge you less, but you can have your own cloud stack. Like if you need to test stuff that bad before shipping it over to public Amazon, you can. So there's been that kind of pushback too, since like some workloads for Amazon have been, pierced so easily. But again, it comes down to like stigging and compliance features. I mean, Amazon with cloud, because it's not on your prem, you have to make sure that your containers are fairly locked down. Like in your case too, like the federal government loves people to stig stuff and take stuff, but now that there's there's DevOps stuff like that. Puppet has stuff like Steel Cloud is one of the ones that DoD loves. You need to harden your Predator drone, hey, great.
Nice. Yeah, definitely don't want someone breaking into that. Holy cow.